Okay. Making sure we live. Making sure you guys can hear me.
Mic check 1 2 1
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
2. Sounds good. Thumbs up if the sound is good.
Okay.
Like.
All right. We're good. Okay, good. Everybody can hear, I think. All right. Well, hello, you guys. Thank you guys for joining our live this evening. So this month, the Fifth Wall decided to dedicate Black History Month to supporting Black professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, brand ambassadors, all that good stuff. Since, we say we don't support each other enough, Black people don't support each other enough, where we're going to put that myth to rest this month. And so all month long, each member of the Fifth Wall will be hopping on live to interview different people who own businesses and stuff. Jade Astro kicked off our interviews last night, which was an amazing interview, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, it's still up on the Instagram page. And she passed the baton to me. Hi, Jillian. She was just, interview was up last night. And thank you again for that interview. I learned a lot last night, so thank you for that. And once again, her interview is still up on our page. If you have not watched it, please go and watch it. And we will be continuing with Instagram interviews all month long. So tonight, I am interviewing my husband.
What's up, people?
So this is my husband, Jeremy Bly, and I am going to let him take it away. So tell us about your profession. What all do you do? What all are we going to be talking about this evening that you want people to know about?
First off, hello to the great people out there. Thank you for sharing your platform with me. You want a little bit of my background or just my what I do?
Whatever you want people to know. If you want to give a little bit of your background so people can know you better, that works fine as well.
Sure. I did 4.5 years in the military in intelligence field. Got out, did some management in the civilian sector. Found out I wanted to pursue my entrepreneur endeavors, so I went to barber school. Did barber school, finished barber school in 2016. I've been working as a barber ever since then. And now I'm in the process of launching another brand, asset management, apparel. So we're going to be launching that in the next couple of months. So look out for that.
So what made you want to follow these career paths? What made you want to go into barbering? And then what made you want to go into the fashion industry? I know that's kind of like maybe seems like two different things, but of course they're going to work together. And I know you know me, I'm all over the place in the things that I do. I mean, I was in a mental health conference this morning and then they jumped into, I'm telling them about the horror industry. And it's like, how did you mix it? But I was able to bridge the gap there. So what made you choose the career path going into barbering and then saying, I want to go into the fashion industry?
Barbering, I think barbering kind of fell into my life because when I was younger, probably like middle school throughout, I probably started in like middle school. I started, keeping up with my grooming. As I was in the military, I groomed myself a little bit, messed up my haircut a little bit. But I always took pride in my haircuts, my appearance. So that what led me to barbering later on, as I was pondering some things that I wanted to do. and to take care of my family, my future, and my freedom, if you will. Barbering allows me the flexibility that I need or want and desire to live the life that I plan to live and the life that we are currently living. And it also gives me a great connection to the community, my people in particular. It gives them a positive influence when it comes to seeing a black man in a positive light, working every day. Great conversation, and doesn't have to be anything negative or anything like that. So that's probably my first priority when it comes to barbering. But in the fashion, like I said, I've always taken a pretty good, had a pretty good eye for fashion, to take great pride in my upkeep. So
that's true.
So that's another thing. It just kind of gels together. It's right now it's a 2-part, I guess, endeavor, but there will be more to come between the barbering and the fashion as well. So it's going to be a complete thing down the road, but we're just taking it step by step right now.
Thank you. Hey, Fifth Wall fam. Hey, Circle fam. I see everybody. Before I get to my other list of questions, Jade asked a really nice question last night that I really liked. I'm going to take this one from your interview last night, Jade. Where you are now in life and the career path that you have chosen to be on, what would you have told your younger self? Like when you were about, what would you have told yourself in middle school with what you know now?
Middle school. Well, I think I can take you back to 5th grade, actually, because in the 5th grade was when I first envisioned myself as a business owner, entrepreneur, self-employed. I wrote an essay, and it was about I wanted to be a business owner. But the vision that I had is not the vision that I had, the life that I'm living right now. But the vision that I had in the 5th grade as a business owner, it was the corner office in a high-rise building in a major city. Complete opposite from where I am now. I have my corner of the barbershop that I service my clients, and we have great conversations. If I could go back to when I started to think about being an entrepreneur, I would say I need to be more outspoken, and I needed to develop relationships more, because every part of your life is centered around relationships for the most part. If it's not the main part, it's a great part of it. So develop relationships and be more outspoken, and connect more with people in general.
Why do you think it's important to support Black-owned businesses in general? Why do you think that it is important that we support our own? Because it always seems like when it comes to supporting us, it's always a thing. We have to go into, well, why is your prices like this? Why is the customer service like this? Why do you charge that? Why has it got to be late? Why you got to do it over there? Why got to be this many people? Why we got to wear this? But when white people ask for support, people will do it unequivocally. Like, they don't ask. It's like it's no questions asked. It's like, okay, they say let's do this, and then you jump to do it. It's like without asking, like all of these different let's make a deal type situations, or let's try to make me comfortable. It's like, oh, what do I do to fit into what they need me to do to support them? But then when it's like one of your own, you be trying to like let me fix it up to where I get comfortable. And it's like what's with that? So why do you think that it's just important to support our own community?
First, you got to support those that you have to support yourself, and my community is an extension of myself. So that's the first thing. Another thing is, most of us, we live in our own communities. That goes back to the first point, supporting those people that support us. But the other part to that is, we have to have our own in our own communities. So that's why it's very paramount that we support our black businesses, support our own people, and we have to redirect our what we spend. We spend over $1 trillion yearly, but it does not circulate in the black community. So that's why it's very important, even now, than it has been in the past, because as we look out our windows around us, we don't own a lot, but we spend more than anybody. Our GDP is more than some countries. So that right there says we have a lot of spending power, but we need to redirect it. So if a lot of us are in business, we need to support as many of us as we can. There's a rabbit trail that I can go down, but it's Black History Month. Support your people.
And I know it's hard to support us sometimes, because some of us do need to be a little bit more professional. But I get it, but I mean, sometimes we need to have those conversations in house, and then that's a whole other thing. Like, we don't need to be broadcasting to the world our internal issues. That's a conversation me and Tanya have all the time. Like, sometimes we need to just keep things in house. Sometimes we don't have to broadcast to the world all of our internal struggles, because we're working on them. We are trying to uplift ourselves as a community. We're trying to work on them, not always pointing out the flaws, but let's work on them as a community. What are your favorite apparel brands as of lately?
Whatever I buy, Trinity. My favorite apparel brands as of lately. Wow. I really haven't bought much for myself lately. For jeans, I find a great comfort in Lucky Brand jeans. They're very comfortable. I like Lucky Brand jeans. They are pretty comfortable jeans. I like the fit on myself. Of course, you can't really go wrong with Polo Ralph Lauren. Classic. Shoes. Lately, I've had my eye on a lot of Cole Haan stuff. I guess those are the things that have taken my eye lately. And of course, myself being in the position to launch a apparel line, I have my eye on things that have staying power in the market. So I'm not really copying them, but you kind of get an idea of what people like based on how things have been around. So I like those three brands right now.
And y'all, let me tell y'all.
Don't listen to whatever she's about to
No, you have listen. It ain't. It's an extension of you, but it's not you. Listen, our 4-year-old already has his inherent need to be fashionably conscious. Okay, me, I don't care. I never have been. My best friend will tell you. My line sisters will tell you. I haven't really cared that much. But my 4-year-old will change her own clothes. She will take outfits that I have picked out for her and change them. She will take clothes that I set out for her and change them around and be like, I didn't want to wear that. Or I wanted to wear this instead. And I'm like, what happened to the outfit that I picked out for you? And I didn't want to wear that. Um, at 4, she already has her own kind of like sense of style like that. And I tried to sit myself and think, how young was I when I was really like, I cared about what I wore and fashion, and I can't remember. I don't think I cared like that. I don't remember. I'm like, I know I wasn't like that at that age. I don't recall. Like she's real particular about shoes that she wear. She wants stuff to coordinate how she wanted to coordinate. I'm like, this is a lot at 4. At 4. And I don't even remember. I don't recall me at that age even caring about that at all. I don't. So she already is kind of like has that sense of fashion already, and I know that she gets that from him.
Hey, I'm guilty. Guilty as charged.
As much stuff as she gets from me, I know she got that part from him. She says the 4 years. Me neither. I'm with you, Chuck. Sometimes, I'm cool. You're right. I be cool. My flip flops or my snow boots and t-shirts and hoodies. I'm cool. But this little one, she's already fashion conscious. So, and I'm surprised she hasn't ran out of here, because she heard that we had a meeting, but she's seen like lighting and iPad and mics and stuff being set up, and she already like records her own videos and stuff. So y'all.
It's unbearable sometimes.
Y'all don't understand this little monster that we have created. So don't be surprised if she run out of here just so that she could show her face on the screen. You right. Yeah. You gotta nurture that, and we definitely try. We know, my podcast co-host knows, she has ran out many a times during recording just so that she can be seen, because she just wants to be seen on the camera. That's her already at 4. I don't.
I got some. Yeah, we was in Barnes and Noble when we was picking up books, and they have like this little stage area, right? She told me, she saw the stage and she was like, "Dad, take my picture, put me on video." I'm like, "We're in a bookstore," but she saw this little platform and she just knew it was a stage, so she was like, "I have to be on video, take my picture." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, that was just performing. That's going to be her thing. But
so y'all see, we're passing down legacies here. One day she will be, and one day soon she'll probably have her own podcast and her own extension of a fashion label from him, because she's already learning and already ready to just jump into things at this age. I think, and that's why representation is very important. They need to see stuff like that. That's kind of why we wanted to dedicate this month to highlighting and spotlighting Black-owned businesses, because we are Black history. The companies that we are building, the empires that we are building, the legacies that we're leaving, we are Black history. We're going to be Black history. All of this stuff is going to be left to the future, and they need to see these positive representations of us. They need to see all these young Black professionals, things that I wish that I saw more of as a child, all these different opportunities and stuff to come across. Real quick before we get out of here, what's a funny barber story that you came across lately?
oh my goodness.
Give us a funny barbershop story.
Wow.
I know.
There's so many that come through. We're dealing with so many different characters all day. There was one today. Well, I'll tell you this one, and I think this has something to do with the representation that we're talking about. Yes, I think it was yesterday, or maybe sometime this week. This guy came in in the barber shop, and he was just there, just talking. He wasn't there to get service or anything, but he was. We were talking about a mutual acquaintance between some guys that was there in the barbershop and the guy that hadn't been through there in a while. He just came to speak. So he was talking about this guy who happened to be, quote unquote, a great guy. He was talking about he's so how was it, successful, go-getter and things like that. And he left out of the barbershop, and immediately that conversation was like, don't believe nothing that you just heard, because let me tell you about the guy that he's talking about. So another guy that was in the shop with me, he was like, the guy that he's talking about, I don't even know why he said that, because he's a terrible father. Case in point, there was this function that this guy that was a terrible father held for his family. He invited his son over after not talking to his mom for quite some time. So he invited his son over there outside with his other kids, throwing the ball around, things like that. And his son was like, "Uncle, throw me the ball." The guy did not correct him. To this day, this guy is about 18. He's about to graduate this year, because he's been on a couple of college visits in the past few months, but he's about to graduate. He has not been corrected yet about that guy. He still thinks that guy is his uncle instead of his dad.
So wait, so pause. So he invited the little boy to whatever social gathering he had at his house. He invited the mom and the son, but neither the mom or him told the son that he was his dad.
Nope.
That is wild. See, y'all, this is why black people need therapy. And people, and stuff like that, they letting it slide because somebody just went and bragged on this guy and said he's a good guy. Mm-hmm. He's a successful guy. He's a nice guy. And yet, this scumbag bum invited his baby mom and son to his house, and they still didn't say that was his child. What kind of foolery?
Yeah.
This is why we'll get more into that tomorrow when I talk to LaTanya, who is a therapist. This is more reasons why we as a community need mental health and counseling and therapy services because of foolishness like this.
Absolutely.
And then you got people out in the community bragging on you, talking about you're a good person, and your son is walking around and don't even know that you his dad. What?
Yeah. Uncle Dad. It's not funny, but you know.
Success can't be equivalent to being a good person, because it's a lot of successful assholes and jerks out there. Yep. Okay? And that's why sometimes it's lonely at the top, because some people made it by stepping over others instead of holding each other's hand.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Anywho, yeah. Craziness. Oh my goodness. The things he be hearing some crazy stuff in the barbershop. Y'all think the stuff that in the movie they be just clout? No, people really be saying some crazy stuff in the barbershop.
What I'm gonna do is start writing. We're gonna start writing scripts and stuff for these ideas. I got one. This one, well, I've heard this one a few times, but it came through again today. I'm just gonna imagine for a second. I'm a barber. There was a murder in the community, right? Couple of months go by. One of my clients ends up being the person that committed the murder. He's been sitting in my chair for 2-3 months while the police is on the lookout for him. He kind of does petty theft and stuff like that, but let's just say murder, kidnap was the escalation of petty crime. And he finally moved away, and that's when he got caught. These are the stories that come through the barbershop every day.
So he coming in there, getting
a haircut,
making sure he looked nice, and he wanted for murder.
Speaking casually about what happened, like, man, hey, y'all saw what happened? Y'all heard about what happened over such and such? Well, never knew he was the guy until he got locked up.
Wow. And y'all can't never think that, like, that women be sitting around gossiping and whatnot, because it's just that's a bunch of foolishness.
Hey man, everybody gossip.
What? The feel about the son killing his nephew and plotting on his mother, Sweetie Pies,
yeah.
Ain't that some craziness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Boy.
This happened about 20 years ago.
This why, like I said, we're going to continue the mental health. And you see, come through all the time in the community, you see how much black people really need therapy. But yet, we be sitting here thinking it's for rich people and white people.
I want to answer that question.
Go ahead.
Are women not allowed in the barbershop? Women are definitely allowed in the barbershop. And most kids that come through the barbershop are brought by their mothers. ... So, I'm not going to say there are more absent fathers in their kids' lives. I'm not going to say that. But there are too many. And I see it coming through the barbershop. And I see it in how the kids are growing up. Just like today. I know maybe it was yesterday. Single mom, 2 kids, 2 boys. Dad is absent. The mom had to call the police on her child because the child jumped on her. So women are definitely allowed in the barbershop, and sometimes I don't come home right after I'm done working because there's a mom in the barbershop talking to me and the other guy in the barbershop about some issues that she's having with her younger son or whatever. I'm kind of like the bridge, if you will, because the other guy, he's a bit older. I'm a bit younger, so I can kind of relate to the younger guy. But it's not, man, it's a mess sometimes. So if I was a trained professional in the therapy world, I could definitely make a whole lot of money just being a therapist in the barbershop.
You hear that, Tasha? We might need to just go set up Mitra. We might need to just go set up shop in the barbershop. Because apparently, maybe that's where we need to go and see where these people and meet them at where they are. Because we see now. Speaking of, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. LaTanya is taking up donations. She's donating money to buy weighted blankets for a group home, for a boys group home. So stay tuned tomorrow so you can get her information from that, because that's important. We need to this is like a community thing. We all have to be in it together, working together for our people. Yes. Yes. Exact. Let's start. I'm with you on that. We got to go. Hey, Rashawn. Yes. that that it's so many people that have these issues and are needing this help, and sometimes they don't even know where to go. They don't think that the resources are out there, that they're unobtainable, because like I said, there's so many people that feel that counseling is for rich people, counseling is for white people. I don't know no counselors. Who do I talk to? I don't like to open up about my problems. They can't help me. Oh, I talk to my friends. That's good enough. Your friends are not a trained professional. Number one. Number two, black people need mental health counseling more so than any other race, because we have inherent trauma through slavery. Okay, we all have shared trauma. Our ancestors have trauma that we have carried over in our DNA. So all of us have that inherent trauma. It is not for rich people. Therapy and counseling is affordable, y'all. It is the year 2021. That is not an expensive service, okay?
Right.
It's not an expensive service. It is really not. I don't want to hear no excuses about that. There are therapists, there are behavior specialists, there are life coaches out here. Look, there's enough people within my circle and the fifth wall team. Now that we know that it might be a place to go recruiting people in the barbershops, is where we might need to be going and doing some undercover services and sitting and listening, like, let me talk to you when you walk out the door. Because of what you heard.
She said she talked to a pastor. I got some stories about some pastors that come through the barbershop.
We ain't even, I was just finna say, pastors, y'all don't even want to know what they be talking about in the barbershop. Okay.
Hey, I'm going to say this. I got a pastor that has a swear jar in the barbershop for himself.
Ridiculous. Yeah, we found a recruit in place, and this might be the place to find those men who really need the help. Because we actually talked about that today. I think Tasha was in that meeting where we was talking about trying to get more support group for the men that need the counseling and mental health. That it might need to be in pulling them in the barbershop and just saying, help is available, the resources are available. We'll get that together. Latanya's husband is putting together a black men support group, by the way. So if you've gotten any invites from me or Latanya that's like recruiting people, we will be stepping out of the way. But they are starting a black men's support group, by the way. If you have not gotten an invite and you want more information about that, please let me know so that we can get you in that black men's support group, because we definitely need that in the community. If you don't think it's needed, he just gave you some examples of why it's needed, why black men need some support in the community.
Definitely. Definitely.
If you don't think that it's needed, you might want to rewatch this interview and listen again.
Hey, I pretty much any story or along any lines, I probably heard a story through the barbershop about it. Probably got an example about it. So it's therapists can definitely use the barbershop as a place to actually do your work. Forget about just building clients, but actually people that need help, people that are receptive to your help. Because a lot of barbers don't come from suitable socioeconomic statuses or backgrounds to even, have a civil conversation with you. So that's why a lot of people jump around to different barbershops, because they say the barbers are so how can I put it? They're not dependable. And sometimes they have bad customer service, which is, I guess that's just something that we just point out so much, and whenever we're just dealing with our people, we point out bad customer service. But it can be for several reasons, though. We don't communicate well as a people, so there can be some miscommunication, which is not necessarily bad customer service. It's just a miscommunication. Like, I have a guy, like, I cut his hair yesterday. I guess it can be along the lines of miscommunication. I've been trying to get I haven't messed up his haircut, but he doesn't know what he wants, and he's trying to tell me as a barber what he wants, but he really doesn't know what he wants. But this has been going on for about a month, so there's a communication barrier. We both speak the same language, but I guess there's miscommunication. So that's why a lot of things can go on the customer service front as miscommunication, but bad customer service, but it's just miscommunication. I think I went around. What what was I talking about? But yeah, a lot of barbers are not really in the position to give people advice, but the clients do trust their barbers to talk to them. So that's why a lot of therapists and things like that could get a lot of could help a lot of people in the barbershop, barbers and things like that. So maybe there's something that I'll do, spearhead, where we can connect with different therapists and counselors of that nature, where we can get some people some help. So
it sounds good. Say less. You know, when you guys tell us stuff, when you tell the wrong people the good information, we make it happen. We take information like that and run with it. You give us an idea that's going to help our people, we run with it. We make it a priority to help our own, and we see that there's a need there, and especially when we're looking for people to help. When it's like we want to help our own, where do we go to help these people? And we have a start. We have a starting place now. So I definitely will be getting with my my circle fam and fifth wall fam and seeing what we can do to kind of bridge the gap with that. So that was a really good discussion, and thank you guys for all hopping on and listening in and weighing in on this conversation. This is very informative. I said, you never know where the conversation ends up when I get on here. When any of us get on here, you never know where we end up. We will go around the world and back, but I guarantee you you'll learn something, meet some new people, have some great conversations. Let people know how you can be contacted, your social media, all that good stuff.
On Instagram, Jerry Blaze the Barber. For the apparel line, Asset Management Apparel on Instagram. My Facebook, Jeremy Bly. Although you may not be able to find me because I don't think I have the privacy settings where you're able to type my name in and find me. But find me on Instagram, Asset Management Apparel, or Jerry Blaze the Barber.
And I will tag him in this post because it's going to stay on the Fifth Wall Instagram page. So I will definitely put all his contact information under that post so that you can contact him for any of that. And we will definitely stay in connect now because now we have a mental health goal and a Black men support goal. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. This was very informative, and like I said, this is going to stay up on our page, you guys. His information is going to stay up there. Anything you need to know about barbering, haircuts, all of that good stuff, let him know. Especially if you have sons and whatnot, he's really good with that. Please send your questions to him about that. He's really good with that. And thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight. And I will see you guys again tomorrow night for our next interview.